Hi, my name is Carly Wynn, and I am your admissions counselor here at Transylvania University. Today, I just want to share some information with you about who Transylvania University is, the academic programs we offer, student life, residence life, the application process, how to visit campus, and how to contact me if you have more questions. So to get started, Transylvania University is a small liberal arts college located in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. So I want to break that up into three parts for you. The first part is that we are a small college. We have about 1,000 students total, so definitely on the smaller end. And with that, the really great benefit is that we have small class sizes. We are a very close-knit community, and the largest class that you are ever going to have is about 35. You're kind of going to be hard-pressed to even get a class that's even that big. Normally, students experience maybe one or two classes that are between 25 and 35, and the rest are smaller than that. Our average class size is 15, so you always know your faculty members. They are the ones teaching your class. We do not have any TAs on our campus. And the true benefit of having that relationship is that you are going to have these faculty as mentors for all 4 years. Because you have a small class, they know who you are, they know what you're interested in. You are probably going to their office hours and not just asking about your homework or about projects you're working on, but are talking about your life, talking about what it is that you want to do after you graduate. And then they're going to hear about grad school opportunities or internships or networking or research opportunities and filter those to you so that you have those connections to get to that career that you're interested in. They're just a really great resource for you, and that comes with being a small school. The second part of our identity is that we are a liberal arts college. So I don't know if you know what liberal arts means. I know some people think it has political leanings. Some people think that it means that we are an arts school. That's not really the case. Liberal arts means that you are taking classes outside of your wheelhouse. And that's a little bit further than just how most colleges have a general education curriculum where you have to take, maybe a math class and a science class and a history class. It goes a little bit deeper than that because with liberal arts, you're actually seeing how these different fields intersect and how they connect and will really help to show you more about the field that you want to go into. So a really good example of that is we have an alum who just graduated a few years ago. They are in medical school. That's kind of common. We see a lot of Transylvania students who pursue biology, it's our most popular major, and then go on to medical school. So not an uncommon path. But when this alum talked about the classes that meant the most to her, it was not those biology classes. It was not the classes in her major. It was the psychology and the sociology classes. And the reason for that is because within the medical field that she's pursuing now, the psychology and the sociology classes taught her to think about the humans that she was working with. So they taught her to think about how different people have been impacted by the medical field, who's maybe been left out of medical conversations in the past, and how she can work with those people in the medical field to make it a better place for everyone involved. And so the liberal arts really is there to help you ask why things are happening the way that they happen, how we can make them better, and really how you can impact the careers that you want to go into. It really, by looking at how all these fields intersect, you just think a little bit deeper about those issues. The third part of our identity that I do like to highlight is that we are located right downtown in Lexington, Kentucky. You probably saw in the first picture, our campus is 3 blocks away from the heart of Lexington, and Lexington is the second biggest city in the state of Kentucky. So there are tons of advantages that come from that location. We're actually one of only 9 of the top 100 liberal arts schools that's located in a city our size or larger. And so there's really, you get the best of both worlds with that setup. You get the small class sizes, you get that faculty interaction, that close-knit community, but you also have opportunities that come from being in this hub of a city. So there's a lot of businesses nearby. If you want internships, if you want networking, if you want to really boost your career, you have the opportunities for that. You're not driving an hour to get to those research opportunities or those internship opportunities. You're typically probably just walking right downtown for an internship after your classes end. But on the other side, there's just a lot of fun stuff going on. You can see some of that in the pictures here. There's lots of food, lots of restaurants, lots of really great local shops. There's a booming arts community, both with visual arts and performing arts, and there's just constantly a lot going on. So it's a really great location to have this small school nestled within this bigger city. I do want to talk about academics. This is kind of a traditional classroom this year with the pandemic happening, but all classes are going to be small, like I mentioned earlier. So even though this one's a little bit more socially distant, it is kind of the average. Like I mentioned with the small classes, we have an 11-to-1 faculty-student ratio. So you know your faculty members, again, you can tell from these pictures, they're very involved in the classroom discussions. It's not lecture-based at all. And one other component with the liberal arts that I like to mention, kind of with the aspect of we're teaching you how everything intersects so that you can pursue your career and know as much as possible about the world around your career that you're working within. We also want to prepare you for the modern world. We don't want our liberal arts education to be set in the past. We want it to prepare you for the future. You might have heard, but there's a lot of statistics out there about how a lot of the students who are in high school and college now are going to have careers once they graduate that don't even exist now. That's kind of how rapidly the world is changing. And so each of our programs has a digital liberal arts component. And so obviously that's going to be a little bit more intense in computer science, in digital arts and media, and some of those fields, but it is present in all programs. So even philosophy or classics or programs that you wouldn't really expect to have a digital component, we are preparing you for what the world is going to look like around you once you graduate. So you are more flexible, you're able to interact in this world that is very digital, and that way you're prepared to have whatever career that you want to after you graduate. I do want to showcase our majors and minors. So if you look at the two columns on the far left, those are our two columns of majors. We have 46 on campus, and so there are lots of opportunities for you to take classes that interest you. Out of this list, our most popular, like I mentioned earlier, biology is the most popular, business is a very close second, psychology, education, Spanish, these are all programs that typically end up in our most 5 popular majors list. However, even our smaller programs like art history or philosophy are really going to have, world-class professors, really dedicated faculty to help you get to that next level. And there's really great research opportunities regardless of what major you go into. So there's just a lot going on. Some unique programs that we have: music technology, philosophy, politics, and economics, which is interdisciplinary and really helps you to understand kind of the pre-law path from those different elements. With the philosophy component, it gets to the ethics behind political science and economics. So you're able to ask some deeper questions within that. And we also have a digital arts and media major. So if you want to go more of like the art side, or you're more interested in like digital journalism, there are lots of opportunities with that. I do want to draw your attention to kind of the middle bottom of this page where it says pre-professional preparation. That talks about our pre-professional programs. So these are advising programs. They are separate from your major, but they work really well in conjunction with the major that you've chosen. So pre-health and pre-law function very similarly. Both have structured advising programs that you're going to work with all 4 years. They're led by faculty. And you also, with pre-health, we do have a pre-health advisor who works in our career development office to help with any internships or networking and kind of those pre-professional career opportunities. Both of these have test prep. So we have a free LSAT prep course for the pre-law program. There is some MCAT guidance for the pre-health program, as well as PCAT, all of the different tests that you would need to take for any of those fields. And so they're really strong programs. Pre-engineering is also strong, but functions just a little bit differently. It kind of works as a 4+1 program. So with that, you are enrolled all 4 years at Transylvania, but during your junior and senior year of college, you are also dual enrolled at the University of Kentucky's College of Engineering. We share Lexington with the University of Kentucky. They're about a mile away from us. So it's really an easy process for you to just hop across town, take those 6 classes between those 2 years. And the benefit of that is you're getting the liberal arts education, which has that critical thinking component, which you definitely need in the engineering field, but you are able to fast track your master's having those classes under your belt. So the master's typically only takes about 1 year. So that's why it's just a little bit different from the pre-health and pre-law programs. If you're looking at this whole list and there's still a program that you're interested in that's not listed, you can also self-design a major. So on the far right, you can see the programs that we've had students self-design majors in before. This is not a full list. There are definitely many more out there, but some really popular ones we've seen recently are criminal behavioral studies. This gets to the forensic psychology, forensic anthropology side. We've seen public relations, which kind of works within our writing, rhetoric, and communications major, but does more of the actual public relations part. Sports management, social justice, these are all really good fields for students to go into. Talking a little bit more about the pre-health and the pre-law program, we see really good acceptance rates going into that next level. So with pre-law, we see a virtually 100% law school acceptance rate. And with the pre-health program, we see more than 90% of our students who work within that program who are accepted into medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, all of that. So definitely really good success rates with those. And that the success rates don't stop with just those programs. We actually have a 95% employed or grad school rate for students within 6 months of graduating from Transylvania. So that means within 6 months, 95% are either employed or in graduate school. This actually doesn't capture students who are doing like the Peace Corps or Fulbright or any program like that. So we do see honestly closer to 100% if you take all of that into account. On campus, we have a lot to make sure that our students are succeeding. In terms of classwork, we have the ACE Tutoring Center, which is free tutoring led by upperclassmen in those classes. And that's available every weeknight. We have a writing center, which students can use if they are needing help writing papers, or they can also use it if they're preparing for that next step and need to write a cover letter or a resume or anything like that. And then we also have some resources to help students to find their careers after they graduate. So the first is the Center for Academic and Professional Enrichment. With that, we have many staff in that office to help with any sort of assessment tests. If you want to see, okay, this is my personality, this is my academic interest, what's a good career option for me? We also have mock interviews that office does. We have networking events. We have everything from resume building to cover letters. There's just a lot of resources going on in that office. Like I mentioned, we also have a pre-health advisor who works within that office to help our pre-health students find internships and networking opportunities. The other really great resource we have is 100 Doors to Success mentorship program. So this works within our alumni community and the local community to pair our students with mentors. You guys might have started to hear that the way that the future jobs are going to work is not just education and experience, but part of how students are going to get jobs after they graduate is by who they know. It's by networking. And so the really great benefit of this mentorship program, besides obviously having these relationships that you're building, getting career advice, is the networking component. We're seeing these mentors who are taking students to their offices, to conferences with them, and really exposing them to their whole network that they work within. So that way, by the time you graduate, you could know 15, 20 different people who can offer you jobs after you graduate, who know you from the time you were maybe a freshman in college, have been impressed by the fact that you're a go-getter and you've signed up for this program, and are able to open up career options for you. So some really great resources there. Also within academics, we do have a really strong fine arts program. As I mentioned earlier, Lexington in itself has a really booming fine arts and performing arts world that we live in. And so there's concert band, there's jazz band, there's pep band, choirs, orchestra, theater productions. We have an art guild, we have a literary magazine, we have an art gallery on campus, and we offer fine arts scholarships. So there's some really great opportunities, not just to get involved, but also to get some scholarship money. And that goes even if you're not a major or minor in the fine arts, but if you just are interested in continuing it in college. One last thing with academics that I do want to talk about is study abroad. So with study abroad, there's some really great opportunities to do an international experience while you are an undergrad. About 50% of our students study abroad at some point. And with that, there's quite a few different options. So if you know you want to go for a longer period of time, we have Global Transy and we have summer programs. So Global Transy are for the whole semester, typically 3 to 4 months that you're gone. You're in one country the whole time. And there are 36 different programs that we have within our Global Transy Study Abroad program. These are located in 33 different countries. And the really good benefit of Global Transy is you can carry over all of your scholarships and financial aid to count towards those programs. With summer programs, typically those are anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Again, you're going for a little bit longer of a period of time, and there are lots of scholarships available to make it affordable. There are 2 shorter experiences as well. If you maybe have a busy schedule or you aren't sure if you want to study abroad, you just kind of want to do a short experience. One of these is May term. And so the Transylvania academic calendar actually has a May term roped in for every student. So it's a mini semester, it's a learning intensive where you're only taking one class for 3.5 weeks. You're in that class every day, but you get to focus on that subject a little bit more intensely. And in May term, about 10 to 15 faculty members like to take students abroad. And so that picture in the middle is the class that went to China last May term, or 2 May terms ago. And they got to go and study international business. And so that was a really great opportunity for them. But there are some really cool classes out there. The good benefit of May term is you're going with Transylvania faculty and Transylvania students. So again, if you're a little hesitant, it's a little bit more of that safety net because you probably know everyone who's going with you. We also have a few winter break trips. These are typically only 1 to 2 weeks, so very short. They typically have a service component, and they're a really good way to just experience a little bit of life abroad without having to commit a whole semester to it. Getting into student life and campus life, as I mentioned, Transylvania is a small school. It is a very close-knit community. About 75% of our students live on campus during a normal year. And so students are very involved kind of 24/7. They're involved in clubs outside of the classroom. They want to go to the dining hall. They want to see their friends. And so there's constantly a lot going on. And that goes in the evenings, but also in the weekends. So we're not a suitcase campus. You're not going to find that all the local students like pack up and leave on the weekends. Most students are actually on campus most weekends. And as I mentioned, there's a lot going on. We do have over 50 clubs and organizations, which for a school our size is pretty diverse. The most popular ones are Student Government Association and Student Activities Board. But as you see here, we have Speech and Debate, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We do have Greek Life, and there's a lot to get involved in. If you look at the list of clubs, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many more out there. I just pulled some highlights for this. But if you look at the list of clubs and there's something that you want to do that's not listed there, you are welcome to start a club. If you and your friends want to get together, you need at least a few people who are also interested, and then you can write a proposal to the student life office to be able to get that to go. If you're more interested in community service, there are lots of opportunities for that as well. More than 90% of our students are actually involved in community service, and some of them are doing that individually. We do have a few service-based clubs, but we also have just a lot of our clubs that decide, the Student Government Association this Saturday is going to go help out with Habitat for Humanity. So you might go with a group of your friends, with a club that you're involved in, but there are lots of ways to get involved in community service. We also have a really strong athletics presence on campus. We have 27 intercollegiate athletic teams, and we also have intramurals on top of that. So there's some really great sports that are happening on campus and really good support from the students as well. Our students love to go out, especially to our basketball games, but really any of the games that are happening on campus. We have a very active student section that plans, if they're all going to wear the same color to a game, plans anything like that. So very active student section and a lot of really great athletics. We are Division III, so there are no athletic scholarships, but there is a really great focus on being a student and an athlete. The coaches are really supportive, and the faculty are also very supportive of our student athletes. So it's a really good balance. As I mentioned, about 75% of our students do live on campus at any given point. You can see in these pictures some of our dorms. All of our first-year dorms are actually going to be either suite style or apartment style. So there are none of those traditional bathrooms down the hall, cinder block walls, anything like that. You are at the most probably going to be sharing a bathroom with 3 other students. So our suite style rooms are 2 rooms of 2 people connected by a bathroom. And our apartment style are just you and your roommate have your own bathroom. As I mentioned earlier, we have a very kind of compact, close-knit campus. And actually the good benefit of that is that our residence life side is all kind of right around each other. So we have a cool back circle area, which you can see it's the grassy area in these pictures, where all of the student activities happen. We have a sand volleyball court, we have a gazebo, we have some girls back there. So there's really fun, vibrant student life side that's happening, especially when the weather is warmer, and all the dorms kind of circle that. So it's nice because even if your best friends might not be in your dorm building, they're a 5-minute walk at the most away. They're just probably right across back circle. Also on the residential side, we just finished our new campus center. So this houses our new dining facilities. We have a big dining hall in there, as well as a grab and go section if you just like to grab, coffee and a muffin before you go to class. We have our new health and wellness center in there that has free counseling for all students, as well as our on-campus nurse. And then there's lots of meeting and event spaces. And this building attaches to our pool, and there's a new workout facility in there as well. So now we have 2 workout facilities that any students can use at any point. So this is a brand new space. Again, we are very excited about it. I know that this year's a little bit different for planning a visit. We do currently have a few different visit options. There are some in-person, on-campus visits that are happening. They're kind of limited, so check our website, check that link at the bottom to see when they're running, what our options are. But to try to offer a lot of different options, we do have many virtual options. So if you're interested in a virtual admission session, we can talk one-on-one over Zoom, we can talk on the phone, we can just email. There's options for that. We also have group Saturday virtual options. So that's a group Zoom. It could be you and a few other students, as well as our VP for admissions. If you find yourself in Lexington and for some reason it's the weekend or it's the evening or all the tours are full, but you still want to walk around campus, we do have a self-guided tour for your phone. It works like those museum guides where you can walk around campus and say, I'm at this building, click the button, and it tells you exactly what that building is, what classes take place in there, and more information about it. If you go on that website, we do have a full video tour as well. It is about 25 minutes long, so you can watch that and get kind of a sense of what campus looks like. And we also have some cool video content on that website that focuses a little bit more on kind of short videos, specifically about different aspects of campus. So if you want to watch a 3-minute video about study abroad, or you want to watch a 3-minute video about athletics, you can do that. If you're a senior and you're interested in applying, I do want to go over some information about the application process. So we are free for the application. There's no application fee at all. We offer 2 different ways that you can apply to Transylvania. We are part of the common application, but we also have our own institutional application. The only difference of that is what's most convenient for you. If you are applying to other schools via the common application, it is going to save you time to use the common app. I know that it's a little overly thorough, but if you're applying to at least 2 schools, that's what it's designed for. It's designed for you to write all of that information one time and send it to those schools. If Transylvania ends up being the only school that you apply to that's on the common application, just use our own Transylvania application. It's a little bit shorter, and it saves you time overall. We don't ask for anything crazy with the application. We do need your official transcript and a letter of recommendation from a counselor or a teacher. Additionally, we are a test optional college. So if you have gotten the chance to take your test scores, or you've gotten a chance to take the ACT or SAT and you like your test scores and you want to submit them, great. We need an official copy of those, but you're welcome to submit those. If you have not gotten the chance to test, or you've only taken it once and you didn't like the way that that your score looks, you feel like it doesn't represent you, we totally get that. You are a person, not a test score. You do not ever have to submit your test score to us if you don't want to. If you do not submit your test score, we do ask that you submit an essay. And this can be any 1 to 2 page personal statement, essay on any topic, really just a way to tell us a little bit more about yourself. The deadlines are listed out there. We are early action, not early decision, so it is non-binding, but early action means there are more scholarship opportunities if you apply early action than regular decision. The only difference between EA1 and EA2 is timing. We know every senior has a very different fall, and if you're able to apply early in the fall and you want to meet that October 31st deadline, great, you're going to hear back earlier. With EA2, if you are busy early in the fall and then maybe November opens up and you're going to have some free time, just focus on that December 1st deadline. You're not going to miss out on anything. just try to do by December 1st so that you maximize your scholarship opportunities. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is there. You are welcome to call, you can email, we can set up a Zoom. Like I said, I'm more than happy to talk to you whatever way it works best for you. But I look forward to working with you this year. Good luck with your senior year. I know it's very different, but best of luck, and I look forward to working with you.